Oh, great selection. I'd like to say good afternoon to the sons and daughters of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, both physical and spiritually here in Memphis. How's everybody doing today? I'm doing great. I'm glad to be in the house of the Lord on the Lord's Sabbath day. Always good to keep the Lord's commandment and do the thing that the Lord set forth for us to do. And the lesson that I'm going to deal with today is called Time of the Gentiles. And I'm going to show you that this is a lesson that's set for us to do what the Gentiles do. And what happened, I better get the scan out of my mouth. What happened is we're going to deal with this time of the Gentile, and I'm going to show you in this lesson the time of the Gentile. First time, we need to make sure we know who the Gentiles are. Because if it's been taught in churches that if you're not a Jew, then you're a Gentile. Yeah. But I'm going to show you a Gentile is not a Jew, and the Gentile is a whole group of people that come out of the seed of Japhet. Right. And we're going to deal with it. We're going to break it down and show everything. We're just going to take our time, and I hope that everybody can get some understanding out of this lesson. Because, what will happen is that when you come to church, and if you don't read the Bible, then I can just about tell you anything. Because you're going to believe me simply just because I'm standing here. Mm-hmm. But that's why at the Israel of God, we read the book. I don't have no opinion of when it comes to the Word of God. My only opinion is I'm going to read the book, and let the book tell the story. And if you do that, I think you'll be all right. But what will happen, though, with this time of the Gentiles, we're going to find out something that somebody done deceived the whole world. Matter of fact, let's start this in Revelation 12. Revelation 12. We're just going to work our way through this thing, take our time. Y'all ain't got nothing to do, right?
No.
If you do, almost you polluting the Sabbath day. So, which is easier, stand here and listen to me or go out and sin? So you answer that later, huh? You answer at the end of the lesson. But we're going to start this in Revelation 12, and we're going to pick it up at verse 9 because I want you to hear this. And the world don't believe this. We're on Revelation 12 and verse 9. Okay, go ahead.
And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent.
See, now that old serpent, it's amazing this long in the game that you still got some major preachers still think that Adam and Eve dealt with a real snake. But this is a snake that they deal with, that old serpent. Call his name. Go ahead.
Called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world.
Now this guy done deceived the whole world. He have deceived the whole world. The whole world, this guy done, they don't have a clue who Israel is. They done deceived us so bad that when I read this book, I can't holler every time Jesus' name come up, who's tied to the hip of Jesus? Israel. Mm-hmm. He the king of the Jews, king of Israel, the Holy One of Israel. Mm-hmm. But you can go to church, they don't even mention Israel. Right. Because they don't even know that's part of the Bible. I'm going to show you, he have deceived the whole world. I'm listening to these churches now. They say they're going to go out. They say if you bless the Jews, which they don't even know that Jews come out of Israel, they think Israel come out of Jews. But say if you bless the Jews, then God going to bless you. So all these churches running over there to Jerusalem now, blessing the Jews, which they think is us. I said, you really want to bless the Jews, you should look in the jailhouse.
Yeah.
Because he said Israel going to be hid away in prison house. Why don't you try going there to bless the Jew? Mm-hmm. Or come down in the heart of the ghetto and bless the Jew. But that's what this guy done did. He done deceived the whole world. And if you ain't been deceived, then excuse me, you're not part of the world. I'm not talking to you because you're not part of the world. Go ahead.
He was cast out into the earth.
Now he was cast out into the ground, and now he got a domain in the ground.
No, in the
Even
earth.
they lied on the devil. The devil is a deceiver. Then somebody lied on him. So this guy was cast out into what? The earth.
Into the earth.
Go ahead.
And his angels were cast out with him.
See, not only we always had the concept that it's only one devil, but it was a numerous amount of devils that was cast out.
That's right.
And where they at? Where all these devils at?
Right here.
In the earth. I'm going to make this clear. I ain't talking about y'all. Probably some devils sitting up in here that was cast down from heaven. Now, you look in the mirror, I don't know now. I'm going to leave it right there. But some of these fallen angels, they here in the earth, and they going to be right in your ear trying to deceive you today. If you're not, when you leave here, somebody going to ask you, where you at? Oh, over that church. You go with them people. He going to try to steal his word from you. That's how they operate. Because this guy have deceived the whole world. Now let's go into Luke the 21st chapter. Let's roll. I just wanted to put that out there on the table first to let you know that this guy have deceived the whole world and I'm going to show who he used to deceive the whole world through. You know, he tried it on Jesus. Jesus didn't fall for it. But then he went to a people. And they fell for it. And who are they? They are the Gentiles. But let's go to Luke 21. And we're going to pick it up at verse 20. Luke 21 and verse 20. Okay, go ahead.
And when ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then know that the desolation thereof is nigh.
Now, Jesus talking to his disciples in Israel right here. Go ahead.
Then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains, and let them which are in the midst of it depart out. And let not them that are in the countries enter thereinto.
Now, this is not talking about end times here. This is talking about 70 A.D. here, when Titus came down on Jerusalem. Go ahead.
For these be the days of vengeance, that all things which are written may be fulfilled.
Now, skip down to, read on through. Go ahead.
But woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days, for there shall be great distress in the land, and wrath upon this people.
See, sometimes when people read that, they think this is dealing with that end time. But pay attention, say, it's going to be great distress in the land and wrath upon this people. Who is this people he talking about? He's talking about Israel. Yeah. Because Titus broke Jerusalem down to the ground.
That's right.
He did. We got history, recorded history, show Titus went in, built a whole trench around Jerusalem. He caught the ones coming in and caught the ones trying to get out. And they, according to history, they crucified up to 5,000 Israelites a day. Jesus and the two thieves that was on the cross, it was not the only one that died on the cross. So that's why we don't walk around with a cross on our neck, because we understand that was a Roman death symbol. That's why the Klansmen burn a cross in your yard. They ain't because they holy. You know, but if you just don't know, you just don't know. But this is a time when Titus leveled Jerusalem. What verse we at? In the middle of that verse?
Verse 24.
Go ahead.
And they shall fall by the edge of the
They
sword,
talking about Israel. Go ahead.
and shall be led away captive into all nations.
They're gonna be led away captives in all nations. See, this was the end plan of what he called in Deuteronomy. So you're gonna be scattered in all nations. He had already took out the 9 tribes. Well, he's a 10. He took out 10, but Levi came back. So he had scattered them. The last part of this thing, he had to come back and he had to scatter Judah. And Titus was an instrumental part of doing this. He's you're going to be led away captives in all nations. That's how you got here in America. Mm-hmm. Y'all remember the ride, don't you? Y'all was on that cruise line on the top, waving when you come out of Statue of Liberty. That wasn't none of y'all.
That wasn't like that.
Oh, okay. I'm getting y'all mixed up with another group. Y'all came laying down feet this way and head this way.
That's right.
Another feet head this way and back that way, stacked up in a boat like planks. That's how you got here. Okay, I got the right group now.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled.
Now you might hear somebody teach this on church. In church, they don't even know that they say, oh, the Lord gonna have a time to bring Gentiles in the church. God don't operate like this. Whoever will come. But he's talking about the time that he gave the Gentiles to run this whole earth. This is the time that we're talking about. So we need to go and find out who the Gentiles are before we go any further. Let's go to Genesis 10th chapter. Israel going to be trodden down until the time of the Gentile is fulfilled. So when we going to come up out of this captivity we in? When the time of the Gentile is fulfilled.
That's right.
You say, well, I ain't no captivity. Okay. You in a little, they got a big prison wall around you right there. So you can see that, oh, I can't go no further than that wall. So what they did, they take the wall, take it all the way to the Mississippi line. You can't see it. So now you think you're free. Just keep walking. You're going to run right into that wall. Because God said you're going to be in captivity until the time of the Gentiles is fulfilled.
That's right.
Let's read about these Gentiles. Genesis 10, and we're going to pick it up at verse 1. Genesis 10 and 1. Okay, go ahead.
Now these are the generations of the sons of Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And unto them were sons born after the flood.
Now these are the boys that overpopulate the earth because Noah didn't have no more kids after these guys.
Right.
These are the ones, you got to come out of one of these boys because they were the one that produced the generation after that. Go ahead.
The sons of Japheth.
Now this is Japheth. Go ahead.
Gomer and Magog and Madai and Javan and Tubal and Meshach and Tyrus. And the sons of Gomer, Ashkenaz and Riphtah and Togarmah. And the sons of Javan, Elisha and Tarshish, Kittim and Dodanim.
Go ahead.
By these were the isles of the Gentiles divided in their lands, everyone after his tongue, after their families in their nation.
Now, when somebody said that in church, we the Gentiles, well, which one of these groups you out of? But the Gentiles come out of Japheth, which are Europeans, or either what we call white people. That's who the Gentiles are. And I hear preachers got way more, I ain't gonna say sense, they got more knowledge than me about certain things. They still walking around big preachers on TV. Oh, we the Gentiles. I said, why you just can't open this book up and read who the Gentiles are?
Right.
See, they don't have a clue that when you read this book, they don't know that the story followed Israel. When Israel in the Old Testament, who was they around? They were around Ham. But you don't even see the mention of the Gentiles in the Bible hardly. But then when they came in the New Testament, who was the Gentiles around? I mean, who was the Jews around? Israel was around the Gentiles. They ain't paid attention to this story. When God wrote the story followed us to let you know how important we are to God.
Right.
Once we got way around Ham, he ain't mentioned Ham. But you know Ham was still in existence.
Right.
That's why we should kind of straighten up our act if God thought that much of us.
That's right, bro.
He don't think too much of y'all now. What verse was that? 5? So the Gentiles are the Europeans. So let's go to Jeremiah. Let's see what God, see, God gave each one of Noah's sons an opportunity to kind of run this world. He started with Ham. In the Old Testament, you see when Pharaoh, Egypt, the sun set in Egypt. Everything was down in Egypt. Matter of fact, he sent Joseph down in Egypt because Pharaoh was running, Ham was in charge.
Right.
And that's how they get us mixed up. We were just down there with some more black people that looked like us. Mm-hmm. And one popped out to be president of the United States. But it wasn't us. It was Ham. You know, and all of a sudden we got into the little thing, and then now he went to Shem. When Israel came up out of Egypt, now they was kind of in charge. Because they said, you see, when they came out, they took all the land of Ham.
Right.
And they was in charge until we got ugly, got big, got a little money in our pocket, and we got so big that we fired Jesus. So we want a king. Mm-hmm. Told Samuel, we want a king. Get rid of that. We don't like that God we can't see. But you winning all the battles. You can go out and sing and kill up a whole army. But you want another king. You want somebody else to lead you. So we fired Israel. When we fired God, God got mad with us. He didn't give the Gentile like he did Ham. And he said, I'm going to put them over the whole world. We're going to read that in this lesson. And the Gentile is the one that run this European, is the one run every spot on this earth.
That's right.
Even Mother Africa, they run.
That is right.
You know. So let's go to Jeremiah. Let's take a look at this thing. And I always like to make this clear. The Gentiles is not devils. They just run the world. Guess what? If I ran the world, everybody's name would start with an M. So they ain't did no more than nobody else would do. You ran the world, stuff gonna fit you. You think I'm gonna put you on my money if I ran the world? Who I'm gonna put on my money? I'm gonna put Melvin on there. I would be on a $20 bill. I'm on a $50,000 bill. Put some of my brothers that wouldn't be up to my standard. You know, maybe I put Michael Jordan on a dollar or something.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's go to Jeremiah 29. 27. Jeremiah 27, we're going to read verse 1 and skip. Go ahead.
In the beginning of the reign of Jehoiakim, the son of Josiah, king of Judah, came this word unto Jeremiah from the Lord, saying,
Go ahead.
Thus saith the Lord to me, make thee bonds and yokes, and put them upon thy neck.
Now he said, make bonds and yokes, and put them up on their neck. Skip down to verse 5. Let's well, go ahead and read on through. We got some time. Go ahead and read
and
through.
Send them to the king of Edom.
You know who Edom is, right? Mm-hmm. That's your twin brother. Go ahead.
And to the king of Moab.
You know who Moab is? That's your nephew, right? Is I'm saying that right? That'll be your, them lots. That's your cousin or something. Yes, you'll figure it out. Go ahead.
And to the king of the Ammonites.
These are Lot's kids. Go ahead.
And to the king of Tyrus. And to the king of Zidon, by the hand of the messengers which come to Jerusalem unto Zedekiah king of Judah.
Go ahead.
And command them to say unto their masters, Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel.
Yeah, God of Israel. Every time his name come up, we right there. Go ahead.
Thus shall ye say unto your master.
Is this what you should say to your master? Go ahead.
I have made the earth, the man and the beast that are upon the ground, by my great power and by my outstretched arm, and have given it unto whom it seems meet unto me.
Nah. Boy, I wish I could question God, because I said, well, why did he give it to this guy they call president of the United States now? But I ain't going to mess with that, because he said he give this land to whoever he want to.
That's right.
Whatever reason he gave it to this guy that we got now, you know, he got a reason. But he letting you say, I'm the one that made the earth. I give this land to whoever I feel fit. Go ahead.
Verse 6. And now have I given all these lands into the hand of Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon,
Go ahead.
my servant, and the beasts of the field have I given him also to serve him.
Now who's serving Nebuchadnezzar?
The Lord.
He's the Lord's servant.
That's right.
Don't mean that he's serving the Lord. Because I always tell people, but he's bringing to pass what the Lord put him for us to do.
Right.
Go ahead.
And all nations shall serve him.
How many nations?
All nations shall serve him.
Go ahead.
And his son, and his son's son.
Now he's talking about the sons of the Gentiles.
That's right.
All nations going to serve this Gentile because God gave it. I'm going to show you he gave this whole earth over to the Gentile. Go ahead.
Until the very time of his land come, and then many nations and great kings shall serve themselves of him. And it shall come to pass that the nation and kingdom which will not serve the same Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, and that will not put their neck under the yoke of the king of Babylon, that nation will I punish, and saith the Lord, with the sword, and with the famine, and with the pestilence, until I have consumed them by his hand.
Now, you remember the guy over there that went to put his neck on the hand of George Bush? Say he had mass destruction weapons in his land. They tore up this man's whole land. I think they found one package of firecrackers or something over there. Tore up the whole man because he wouldn't put his neck under George Bush. Didn't he pluck that man up off his land? Because he wouldn't put his neck under it, and the man had nothing in his land. But he went over, just like the book said, if you don't put your neck on the hand of this Gentile, he's going to pluck you out of your land. See, and that little old gal that is acting crazy, that little old bitty guy that Dennis Rodman be messing around with, he's a Gentile. Why he ain't never got plucked up out of his land? Because that's another Gentile. You know, hey, you better stop. He make another bomb. Because that's Gentile on Gentile. You know, skip down to verse 11 and go ahead.
But the nations that bring their neck under the yoke of the king of Babylon and serve him, those will I let remain still in their own land, saith the Lord, and they shall till it and dwell therein.
And you see, and he wouldn't do that. And God plucked that Saddam Hussein out of his land, just like the book said. Let's go to Daniel, the 2nd chapter, because he gave his whole world over to these Gentiles. And they run this world. They run this world from top to bottom. And they're going to be running until the time of the Gentiles is fulfilled. Let's go to Daniel, the 2nd chapter. Let's read about when God gave this thing over to them. Let's see he didn't get the whole world over to Ham. He didn't get the whole world over to Israel. But I'm going to show you when he got to this guy. Boy, after dealing with Israel, you know, anything might happen. Even when somebody think you've been dealing with Israel, they elect somebody that play the dozen. Your president, that all you know how to do is play the dozen. That's how they feel once Israel mess up. When they think it's Israel. And this is what the Lord, you see, when Israel mess up, he said, man, I'm just going to put these Gentiles over everything. 2 and verse 1. Daniel 2 and verse 1. Okay, go ahead.
And in the 2nd year of the reign of Nebuchadnezzar, Nebuchadnezzar dreamed dreams, wherewith his spirit was troubled, and his sleep brake from him.
Go ahead.
Then the king commanded to call the magicians, and the astrologers, and the sorcerers, and the Chaldeans, for to show the king his dreams. So they came and stood before the king.
Now all these people that got this natural power, you know, they can read stuff. The king called him and said, man, I had a dream. Go ahead.
And the king said unto them, I have dreamed a dream, and my spirit was troubled to know the dream.
Now he said, I dreamed a dream, and my spirit was troubled to know the dream. I'm going to tell you what he saw. The king dreamed he saw a big statue. One was the head of gold, and as it went on down, it got cheaper. It was gold, then it was brass, then it was iron, and did I skip one? Silver. It was silver. It was gold, brass, silver, and then went out in the iron. In other words, the kingdom was kind of depreciating as it went down. And he called all these guys in, and could none of them read the dream. All the false teachers that been getting paid on his payroll. Mm-hmm. So what Nebuchadnezzar got so mad, he was going to kill all the wise men.
Right.
And you know, they don't never come get Israel. They think they wise, kill them too. So they got to Daniel, and Daniel want to know why this thing was so hazy. So skip down to verse 27 and go ahead.
Daniel answered in the presence of the king and said, the secret which the king have demanded cannot the wise men, the astrologers, the magicians, the soothsayers show unto the king.
See, that's going to happen again. When that sky roll back like a straw, and they get all they scientists, I don't know what that is. I'm looking now. 2 guys sitting there on the throne. Say, I hear about them Israelites down there in Chicago. Brother Bowie, call him. They're going to have to come back to the Israelites just like they had to do here when they got stuck. They're going to have to come. After they go through all their wise men, they're going to have to come back to the captives. So, man, oh, that's Jesus sitting up there. Y'all should be running. Because they're going to have to come just like this guy had to come to Daniel. What verse we at?
28.
Read, go ahead.
But there is a God in heaven that revealeth secrets and maketh known to the king Nebuchadnezzar what shall be in the latter days. Thy dream and the visions of thy head upon thy bed are these.
Now skip down to verse 31. Go ahead. Let's listen to the interpretation. Go ahead.
Thou, O king, sawest, and behold, a great image. This image, whose brightness was excellent, stood before thee, and the form thereof was terrible.
Go ahead.
This image's head was of fine gold, his breast and his arms of silver, and his belly and his thighs of brass.
Go ahead.
His legs of iron, his feet part of iron and part of clay.
Now this represents the Gentile dynasty. That the first head was Babylonian. The second was Medo-Persian. The next one was Greek. And the next head, the last head on this four-headed beast was Rome. And go ahead.
Thou sawest till that a stone was cut out without hands, which smote the image upon his feet that were of iron and clay.
Now, why did this stone that was cut out without a hand, that represents Jesus. Mm-hmm. Why did he hit the image on the toe? You in a heated fight with a guy, and he jumped in, he swung, hit you on the toe. No. He let you know Jesus is going to come in that time because the head is Babylon is gone. The Medo-Persian is gone. And the Greek is gone. Even the first Roman Empire is gone, but now it's in the form of the European market. That represents those 10 toes, which they already start calling. Get on your phone and Google it. They already calling themselves the EU 10. Mm-hmm. But it's over 20-some nations that make up this European market. But get on your phone. But he said it was 10 toes. You don't have a 10 toes. You don't have no 26 toes. So it's only, I said, man, God, do this thing. We was waiting for that. Now they calling themselves the EU 10. Because these are the children of Rome. These are the last. All these people in that European market have signed a treaty that said the Treaty of Rome. Go look it up. That's what I did when I got in. I said, I'm going to catch a buoy in the lab. I was just sitting, every day I'm in the library. I look like a college kid in the library looking up everything that when I first came into this thing. That's what you're supposed to do. You don't believe it? Take some time out and go check it out. You know, because this is your salvation. And plus, this would build faith. When you see the Bible, it's calling this thing just, when you can read the Bible and look up and see it right in front of you, then you know this book is for real.
That's right, brother.
That's why I tell people, we are the proof that there is a God.
That's right.
Because you can look, say, he said Israel going to be hid away in prison house. You go look in the prison, say, ain't nothing but a bunch of black people. Where Israel at? But he didn't deceive the world. They don't even know that's us. But we are the proof that there's a God. Because everything he said was going to happen to us, haven't it happened to us? That's right. Everything. He said, we're going to be on the corners like wild bulls in that. You come to Chicago in the summertime, you got almost 30 guys standing on the corner. Why? They don't know why. They just standing there on the corner. What you doing, man? Nothing. Stand on, and the Lord didn't call this. You know, but now this would be a faith when you can look at the Bible and look at history and say, wow, this happened just the way he called it. What verse we at?
Middle of 34.
Go ahead.
Which smote the image upon his feet that were of iron and of clay, and break them to pieces.
Now skip down to, that was the end of 28?
That was the end of 34.
How you get way down there?
That's what we get, bro.
Okay, go ahead and read.
Then was the iron, the clay, the brass, the silver, and the gold broken to pieces together and became like the chaff of the summer threshing floors, and the wind carried them away. that no place was found for them. And the stone that smote the image became a great mountain and filled the whole earth.
And flew back up to heaven.
Filled the whole earth.
See, that mountain, that stone represents Jesus. Once he take this Gentile down, the saints going to fill the whole earth. Saints going to do that. Now you finna tell them this dream. No, go ahead.
This is the dream, and we will tell the interpretation thereof before the king. Thou, O king, art a great king, art a king of kings. For the God of heaven have given thee a kingdom.
Now he done gave this guy a kingdom. Let's see, can we figure out what his kingdom is at? Go ahead.
Power and strength and glory.
Go ahead.
And wheresoever the children of men dwell.
Where do the children of men dwell at?
Right here.
So this earth is a kingdom. Go ahead.
The beasts of the field and the fowls of the heaven have he given into thine hand.
That's why you have to get a fishing license to fish for Nebuchadnezzar's fish. That's why you have to get a hunting license. He ain't put none of this stuff out there, but you got to get a license to go hunt. Them fishes, you didn't put them fishes there.
Right.
But you go fishing without a license. What's going to happen?
Nebuchadnezzar going to get you.
He going to take you and your fishing pole right on to jail if you ain't got no money. Because Nebuchadnezzar owned these fish. Why do he own those fishes? Because the Lord gave it to him. He said, wherever the man dwell at, he owned even the fowl of the air. You want to go duck hunting, you got to get a license. Go ahead.
And have made thee ruler over them all. Thou art this head of gold.
That's Babylonian. Go ahead.
And after thee shall arise another kingdom, inferior to thee.
Now that is the Medo-Persian. Go ahead.
And another third kingdom of brass, which shall bear rule over all the earth.
That's the Greek Empire. You see where they're going to bear rule at? Over the whole earth.
Right.
Go ahead.
And the fourth kingdom shall be strong as iron. For as much as iron breaketh in pieces and subdueth all things, and as iron breaketh, and as iron that breaketh all these shall break in pieces and bruise.
Now this is this Roman Empire. I'm going to show you. This is the one we got to keep an eye on as we go through this lesson. Go ahead.
And whereas thou sawest the feet and toes, part of potter's clay and part of iron, the kingdom shall be divided, but there shall be in it of the strength of the iron, for as much as thou sawest the iron mixed with miry clay.
Now he's talking about the European Union right there. You got some strong nation in there that represent iron, and then you got the weaker nation that's in this European Union that represent the clay. You know, that's what he's talking about. He ain't just saying. I guess when people don't have no understanding, they don't have a clue what he's talking about here. But let's go and let's make a connection with this thing. Let's go to Daniel 7, because I always tell people, if you don't understand, if you're in a church and they don't teach about Daniel the 2nd chapter and Daniel the 7th chapter, you might as well be at home watching football, because you ain't gonna get no understanding. You got to understand the physical part of the Bible before you jump into the spiritual part. You don't know that somebody done changed everything around on you. Because you just go right in there hallelujah, but you don't even know who you're hallelujah about.
That's right, bro.
Daniel the 7th chapter, we're going to pick it up at verse 1. Now we're going to kind of put a little handle on these kingdoms. So we're going to start at Daniel 1, and you're going to read to 8. I'm going to be back here at the board. Don't go past 8.
All right.
Because I do have another reader. Go ahead, brother.
In the first year of Belshazzar, king of Babylon, Daniel had a dream and visions on his head upon his bed.
Go ahead.
Then he wrote the dream and told the sum of the matters. Daniel spake and said, I saw in my vision by night, and behold, the four winds of the heaven strove upon the great sea.
Go ahead.
And four great beasts came up from the sea, diverse one from another. And the first was like a lion, and had eagle's wings. I beheld till the wings thereof were plucked, and it was lifted up from the earth, and made stand upon the feet as a man, and a man's heart was given to it.
Go ahead.
And behold, another beast, a second, like to a bear, and it raised up itself on one side, and it had 3 ribs in the mouth of it between the teeth of it. And they said thus unto it, arise, devour much flesh.
Go ahead.
After this I beheld, and lo, another, like a leopard, which had upon the back of it 4 wings of a fowl. The beast had also 4 heads, and dominion was given to it. After this I saw in the night visions, and behold, a 4th beast, dreadful and terrible, and strong exceedingly, and it had great iron teeth. It devoured and brake in pieces, and stamped the residue with the feet of it. And it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it, and it had 10 horns.
Now that's that last one he read about is this Roman beast. I just want to put that up there because we're going to make a connection with these. Did I spell terrible right? Yeah, I spelled it right. You at verse 8?
Verse 8.
You didn't go past?
Now I ain't go past.
All right. So these are these 4, the same Babylon empire that you read about in the Gentile dynasty that you read in Daniel the 2nd chapter, the same one. But we need to put that handle on there for you. I'll show you what's the connection here. Skip down to verse 15 and go ahead.
We're at verse 8.
Did you read verse 8?
No, sir.
Oh, read verse 8.
I considered the horns, and behold, there came up among them another little horn, before whom there were 3 of the first horns plucked up by the roots. And behold, in this horn were eyes like the eyes of a man.
Now what horn you think a pop up out of the Roman? That's Vatican City over there. That's the Papas. That's that little horn. If you go read some history, that he took out 4 of these Gentile nations. 3 of them. Took out 3 of these nations. That represents the Pope. That's that little horn. Now skip down to verse 15 and go ahead.
I, Daniel, was grieved in my spirit in the midst of my body, and in the visions of my head troubled me.
Go ahead.
I came near unto one of them that stood by, and asked him the truth of all this. So he told me, and made me know the interpretation of the things. These great beasts, which are 4 kings, which shall arise out of the earth.
There's 4 kingdoms. They're going to rise out of the earth. Skip down to verse 19 and go ahead.
Then I would know the truth of the 4th beast.
Now, why did he just want to know the truth of the 4th beast? It was his 3 other ones that he should want to know something about. But this is the one that the world have to worry about now is this 4th beast. Go ahead.
Which was diverse from all the others, exceeding dreadful, whose teeth were of iron, and his nails of brass, which devoured, brake in pieces, and stamped the residue with his feet.
See, all these other kingdoms that we named out, Babylon, Medo-Persian, Greece, all of them was warriors. But this last was a warrior too, but they went off into what we call religion. They went off into religion. This stomping with your feet, he ain't started fighting there. He started stomping with your feet in your mind. He's destroying your mind with all this. I'm going to show you with all this bad teaching. That's what he's talking about. That's why Daniel said, I need to know about this 4th beast. Skip down to verse 23 and go ahead.
Thus he said, the 4th beast shall be the 4th kingdom upon the earth, which shall be diverse from all kingdoms, and shall devour the whole earth, and shall tread it down and break it in pieces.
Now ain't somebody gonna tear the whole, he gonna tread it down with his doctrine. That's what he's talking about. That's what he's talking about. That's what he's going to thread this verse down with. Skip down to verse 25 and go ahead.
And he shall speak great words against the Most High.
He's going to speak great words on the Most High and say, you don't have to keep the 7th day. You can keep the 1st day. Them the words he's going to speak. No. You ain't got to worry about this old earth because we going where?
To heaven.
We going to heaven. These are the great words that he's going to speak. Go ahead.
And shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws.
Oh, he going to think to change whose times and law? God's times and law. Because God said what? An evening and a morning is a day.
That's right.
When did this guy say your day start?
Midnight.
12 o'clock, 12:01 midnight. How can day start at night?
In the middle of the night.
I'm telling you, this guy done deceived the whole world. I want something I like about that. I got direct deposit. He come in right after midnight. That's the only thing good about it. But he didn't change what God set up. God said your day start where he fixed where you can see the change.
That's right.
Then your evening or night is first. See, right now, we in the end time of the 7th day, of this day they call Saturday. At sundown, we going into Sunday.
That's right.
But the world don't even know that. I drove for UPS. I know they don't mind me using their name. but I used to be on the CB radio. I tell them, I said, have a good week ending and a week beginning. Hey, what are you talking about? I said, Saturday is the last day of the week, and Sunday is the first day of the week. And they was amazed. They didn't have a clue. Something that simple. They didn't have a clue because these guys done changed that. Well,
in the mind.
In their mind.
That's right.
That's what they stamping on your mind.
That's right, bro.
And the world don't even. I'm talking a little thing. They said they're gonna change times. We're gonna show you all the stuff they didn't change in a minute. But I just want to put that one in. You go ahead and finish that verse.
And they shall be given into his hand until a time and times and the dividing of time.
Now that's during the great tribulation now. But he done already started to change God's time and law. But since we know what we got here, we got a lion, a bear, a leopard, and a dreadful and terrible beast. Let's go to Revelation 13 now. Let's make a connection with these guys. Because you gonna change something. You got to have some power to change stuff. But I'm telling you, it's so plain, though. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you how plain we of all people should know this. You know, when I talk to brothers and sisters, I say, "Who run this world?" "Oh, the white man." I said, "How did you get here?" "Oh, we came over by slavery." I said, "You don't think when they was unloading you off that boat, they didn't already have a God here?" When you got off the boat, you think they had the Bible. But then all of a sudden, they done gave you that picture that everybody's mama in there had on the wall. My mama had it on the wall with them long hair and blue eyes.
Yeah.
They read this book and said, this book written about them black people. So you know what we got to do? We got to change Jesus. And that's what they did. And we had that picture on the wall. Boy, don't be people, they got Jesus on the wall. Watch how you talking now. Y'all know I ain't lying. Revelation 13. Because let's go and look at this. Let's see where they got their power from. Revelation 13 and verse 1. Okay, go ahead.
And I stood upon the sand of the sea, and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns.
See, I explained that in that lesson I did a few weeks ago, and they worshiped the dragon. See, the beast with 7 heads and 10 horns represent Babylon, but to somebody that's doing the running of Babylon, that's the dragon. That's who. Every time you reading about the 7 heads, that represents the nation, because Babylon is 1 head. The Medo-Persian was 1 head. Mm-hmm. And then the Greek, Alexander, conquered the whole world and died at a young age. And 4 of his generals took over. That's right. So that's 6 head. And that Roman makes the 7 head. That's but right. The guy who they riding with is the dragon. That's what we're going to read. Go ahead.
And upon his horns 10 crowns.
Now, go ahead.
And upon his heads the name of blasphemy.
That represents Rome. Go ahead.
And the beast, which I saw, was like unto a leopard.
Now that represents Greek. It's going backwards now. Go ahead.
And his feet were as the feet of a bear.
Medo-Persian. Go ahead.
And his mouth as the mouth of a lion.
That's Babylonian. Go ahead.
And the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority.
Now if they change something, who is they getting the power to do it from?
The dragon.
Because the Lord made it clear what day you supposed to have a holy gathering on. But this guy said, man, you don't have to do that. You can have it on the first day. It don't make no difference what day you go to church, as long as you got the Holy Ghost.
That's what they say.
That's what they say, right? But you see, we running back to these same guys. Go ahead.
And I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed. And all the world wondered after the beast.
Ain't the whole world wondering after?
That is correct.
I'm telling you, can't pull these people out of these Sunday churches with a Mack truck. They'll come and listen. Yeah, I like what y'all said, you know, but I'm going to go on back to church on Sunday.
Yeah.
Man, I ain't got nothing but love for the people that go on Sunday because I came out of Sunday church. But it's just somewhere along the road, you got to open your eyes. I'm telling you, have teachers and doctors sitting up in here, and the teachers, a preacher tell them that Jesus died Good Friday and rose early Sunday morning, and they can't figure out that you can't get 3 days and 3 nights from Good Friday to early Sunday morning, and you a doctor.
Teach.
So that's my surgery. I'm going into surgery next week. He's sitting out there and he can't count. I don't think I want him to operate on me. You know, but this is how this guy deceived the whole world. Read that fourth verse. Go ahead.
And they worshiped the dragon, which gave power unto the beast.
So who does the beast get their power from? From the dragon, which is the devil. Go ahead.
And they worshiped the beast, saying, who is like unto the beast? Who is able to make war with him?
Now, you got to ask the question, who is able to, in other words, we ain't talking about a physical war, but you can't war against, you know, when you pin them up in the corner and say, well, look, man, you can't get no 3 days and 3 days. Oh, it don't make no difference as long as he rose. You put him on the corner, so the Lord said, this is the day you're supposed to go to church. It don't make no difference as long as you get the Lord 1 day out of the week. Every time you pin them up in the corner, they find something. Say, well, don't you know Easter's pagan? Did you see all them rabbits jumping around? See, I ain't worried about as long as he resurrects. Plus, I don't deal with Easter. I deal with Resurrection Sunday. Yeah, but he didn't resurrect on Sunday. I'm telling you can't make war with these people. Because when you pin them, I talked to a young lady almost till I was blue in the face. She said, God, it ain't but one God. I said, well, who do Jesus be talking to when he be on the earth in the flesh? He be talking to himself. I said, you sure got a crazy God. I talked to her, showed her stuff in the Bible, this and that. I couldn't win. So I remember what Bowie told me. He said, when you do that, you always have to just show them one something. Show them your back hitting that door. That was the last time I showed. I said, I'm gone. Messing around, I was with my daughter. I think I left her up in there. I was good. I got to go. Because you can't win against these. Because this guy done tramp, that's what he thought they destroying their mind. Anytime you can read something to somebody, they won't even read it. My brother gonna tell me, I don't know what Bible y'all read out. I said, we read out the same. I said, if we read out the same Bible you read out. Well, I know that. I said, yeah, you wouldn't know because you ain't never read you. You know, but this guy, ain't these the same ones that the Lord gave the world over to?
That's right.
So the guy that's running the world is getting their power from who?
Dragon.
From the dragon. Like I said, we're not calling white folks devils, but we talking about the spiritual wickedness in high places. Mm-hmm. Like that's why the government took prayer out of school for one lady. That's why a kindergarten, I forgot what town it was, wanted to quote some out of the Bible, they put him out of school. So you can't do no story about David. I think you want to do about David. Put the little boy out of kindergarten. But you can sit up there and tell me, you can sit up in school and teach that a girl can have another girl, boy can have another boy. Now you tell me who's running this world. And guess what? They can call you, I would aim to call him that. And he don't get nothing. But you mess around and call somebody, mess around and say the word for homosexual, don't use the proper word. Guess what's going to happen to you on your job? You're going to get fired. Who running this world? That's who running this world. Because Let's go to 1 Corinthians 10th chapter. Because if the Gentile is running this world, let's see who they worship. We got to go to Luke 4. I'm sorry. Man, it's so good to have a good reader. Now, I'll build you up, but I'm going to tear you down later. Luke 4. Let's go to Luke 4 first. Show you what the devil offered to Jesus. Luke 4 and 1. Luke 4, and we're going to pick it up at verse 1. Okay, go ahead.
And Jesus, being full of the Holy Ghost, returned from Jordan and was led by the Spirit into the wilderness.
Now, if he was full of the Holy Ghost, I'm pretty sure he was just talking in tongues and jumping. Because that's what they do when they be full of the Holy Ghost now.
That's what they say.
I can't find nobody in the Bible doing that. But Jesus full of the Holy Ghost.
Right.
No, he was full of this holy word.
That's right.
Now skip down to verse 5 and go ahead.
And the devil, taking him up into a high mountain, showed unto him all the kingdoms of the world in a moment of time.
Remember who owned these kingdoms now? We done read Nebuchadnezzar owned these kingdoms. No. Go ahead.
And the devil said unto him, all this power will I give thee, and the glory